This is not financial advice. I'm recording my thoughts about Snowflake. I closed my position in Snowflake at about $184 per share. Based on my buying price, the gain is about 35%, and I have 4 reasons why I sold this stock. I do understand that there are multiple people who are actually buying this stock at this price, but this is my reasoning why I sold this stock. Out of these 4 reasons, 2 of them are related to the valuation and 2 of them are related to the business model. Let me talk about the valuation based reasons first. The first valuation reason is that its price to sales is about 40. It has a market cap close to $56 billion, and in the past 12 months they made about $1.4 billion of revenue. So that's about price to sales of 40, right? Personally, I'm okay with price to sales of 20 for fast growing companies, but for a price to sales of 40, the company has to grow ultra fast, right? Like triple digit growth. Snowflake was growing in the triple digits in the past few years, but this year they're only guiding to about $1.9 billion of revenue. And when I looked into the year-on-year growth, that converts to about 57%. With 57% growth, I'm not comfortable with the price to sales of 40. So that is the first reason why I sold this stock. The second reason related to valuation is related to my target price of this stock in 2 different scenarios. The first scenario is the management's projection, and the second scenario is the bull side case. So when I looked into the management's case, the management said they can make about $10 billion of revenue in 2029. So I'm saying that, okay, maybe they will make $12 billion. I'm going to assume about 30% growth. So if you look into the screenshot that I shared, the stock price in 2029 would be about $282. Right now it's at $180, right? That's not even a 2x in 7 years. So if I follow the management's case, this is a really bad investment. The second case is bull case. A lot of bulls are saying that Snowflake is underestimating their growth and they're going to grow at more than 50% year on year on an average. So even if I go with the bull's case, in 2026, they would make about $10 billion of revenue. The management is saying they can achieve $10 billion in 2029, right? But in the bull's case, I'm saying they can get to $10 billion of revenue in 2026. That's almost 3 years earlier. And if you look into the same net profit margin and multiple of 30, the stock price would be about $228 even in the bull case. Right now they're at $180. That's almost 20% gain in 4 years, which doesn't look like a good risk reward. Now on to the 2 reasons that are related to the business model. The first reason why I sold this stock that is related to business model is that it's a consumption based model instead of a subscription based model. If I have an analogy with Netflix, let's say if Netflix only charges me for the content I watch and not a constant subscription fee, then what I can do is I can only watch what I need on Netflix, and I can have another service and pay the subscription fee there. In other words, when there is a consumption based model, if the users find out that there is another service, they can reduce the consumption of Snowflake and increase the consumption of the other service. So they can still keep the Snowflake service and use the other service more, and that's going to reduce the revenue for Snowflake. And the second reason related to the business model is the fact that Snowflake operates on top of AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure. And since they operate on top of these platforms, they pay a service fee to these providers. And if the big providers like AWS, Google, and Azure thinks that Snowflake is making too much money, then they're going to want a cut off of that. So they can hike up the service fee to make sure they get more money out of Snowflake. I'm not saying that Snowflake will go bankrupt, but these companies can definitely squeeze Snowflake's gross margins and growth rate, which in turn affect the multiple, and then indirectly it's going to affect the valuation as well. Overall, because of these 4 reasons, I've decided to sell this stock, but I would love to re-enter this stock if it falls below $115 or so. So at least I can do a 2x in 4 to 5 years.